Hey all, welcome back to the 5 Minutes or So Daily Marketing Podcast. I'm Jacob Smith. Today we're here with Adam Feller, graphic designer and owner of Avidity Creative, a food branding agency based out of Des Moines, Iowa. Thanks for coming on our show, Adam.
Yeah, thanks Jay for having me on. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to this.
Can you introduce yourself real quick for our audience and tell us what you do?
Yeah, no problem. So personally, my background is in graphic design. I've been a designer professionally now for almost 9 years. And then 3 years ago, started my own company, Avidity Creative, and we focus specifically on branding and design for the packaged food and beverage industry. So really helping a lot of people with their branding and packaging and just overall marketing inside the stores on the shelves too.
Yeah, and we're particularly excited to have you because of that food focus, because that's what our agency does as well. So
yeah, not many people do, so it's nice to find another company that kind of knows what we're dealing with.
Today, we're going to talk about the history of packaging, and I'm particularly interested because I'm kind of a history buff.
Yeah, it's always an interesting thing.
Ready to get started?
Let's do it.
Question 1. What did early packaging look like?
So it's very interesting. Early packaging, what's funny that no one really thinks about, everyone always thinks about what is, like maybe like 50 years ago or so. But if you think even like 100 or 200 years ago, packaging was really just crates and barrels and baskets, and everyone's packaging just looked the same. So there was no way that they're differentiating from each other. One brand, they weren't even brands back then. There was just suppliers of produce and meat and other liquids that people pawned off as medicine that was just turned out to be Coca-Cola. So these big brands, all they had was everyone looked the same. They had glass bottles, but primarily the focus was on functionality and then shipping their product. And everything at that time was all done like everyone bought in bulk. There was no like individual packaging and stuff. So yeah, that's really kind of I guess how it all started out, and I think we're gonna hit on how it's really changed since then.
Yeah, it's just hard to conceptualize a world with pretty much no brands.
Exactly, it is. It's tough, but it's cool. It's fun, and it's fun to see where things have gone to.
So, leading through with that, question number 2: how did packaging change as brands began to evolve?
Yeah, so I suppose it was maybe in kind of the early 1900s when people started to realize the advantage of having something different about their product. Or, there's some brands and let's just use soda for an example. So you have your Dr. Pepper, your Pepsi, and your Coca-Cola, that they thought their products were better than the next, right? But to consumers, without seeing anything on a packaging or anything at all or logo, they had no idea that that's what they were drinking. So there was no way to really tell the customer, this is my product, so you should buy mine because you know that it's better than the next guy. And so they started putting logos on things, even just those baskets and those crates and those glass bottles. And that was how they started to begin to differentiate. And now, 100 years later, now you're starting to see that people are using it more for advertising and more as a way to differentiate. And it's almost like the gateway to get people to buy their product first. So.
Yeah, it's a given that your brand's going to be associated with your packaging in some way.
Yeah.
Question number 3 then, what can we learn about this evolution of packaging over time?
Yeah, so what you can learn is that so much of that focus has been, to begin with, it was on the functionality, and how it's evolved has become, like I said, a way to differentiate your product from your competitors, or your type of product from another type of product. So like apples versus a liquid or something like that. And so what we're learning here is that it's a way to grab attention. It's a way to get your message across, and it's also become so important that it's more important now almost what your packaging looks like to be able to grab attention than what your product is that's actually inside the packaging, because people are not going to have a chance to try that and unless they're intrigued enough to pick up your packaging and buy it. So even if they're looking for something that your competitors came for, that's an opportunity for you to grab their attention while they're looking at it and set yourself apart, get your message across, and then entice them to try your product. So that's really what I think the focus is on now, and then also trying to find what's the next step, what's one thing that you can go a little bit further, try something new with your packaging as a way to just differentiate yourself. And you can also set up, you can also position yourself well inside of that category for like the value you're creating, whether it's price perception or how you're differentiating, whether it's features and benefits of that product too.
A lot of good stuff right there.
Yeah.
At the end of every show, we like to give our guests a shameless plug where you can share your website, podcast, anything you're working on that you think would be of value.
No problem. So if anyone out there is looking for new packaging design or new branding and need a new logo, or you're just ready to kind of get into that step to start fitting in with those competitors, those larger competitors better, I'd encourage you to go to aviditycreative.com. That's A-V as in voyage, I-D as in dog, I-T-Y, and then the word creative.com. You can see some work that we've done. You can see a little more about what we do. You can also use that to reach out to me personally if you have questions on anything as well. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of and easy to just ask for advice from. I don't charge for that stuff. So
perfect. Yeah, they do really good work at Avidity. You guys are doing a great job. We're going to link your website down in the show notes for our guests to find.
That's awesome. I appreciate it.
And that's a wrap for today's episode. Thanks so much for sticking with us and tuning in. Real quick, if you like today's episode, we'd love it if you sub to the podcast wherever you're listening to it and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. To get in touch with us or find more content, you can visit the Fresh Fuel website, which is in the show notes as well. Have a great day, y'all. And as always, good luck and good marketing.